Are you planning to start a PhD? Stop. PhD is just not a degree. It is the degree. It is the highest possible academic degree one can earn. There is no degree after PhD for one to earn. In a sense, this is the end of your academic journey. Not end of your learning though, but academic journey. So let's talk about the life during and after PhD and find out whether you are a good fit or not. Based on this video and information provided, you can make your own informed decision for yourself. One of my favorite and perhaps the easiest pictorial representation of education system is the concentric circle diagram. You take any subject or field, let's say physics. The smallest middle circle is the extent to which you learn physics during the high school. You basically get some idea what physics is. Maybe you solve some velocity, time, acceleration, momentum problems, but that's all. That's all you learn in high school. Basically the introduction to that subject. The next circle represents the undergraduate degree, where you extend your reach in that field. You go deep, study some more theories. You learn more about the subject, solve some complex problems. At that level, you have pretty good understanding what that subject is about. The next biggest concentric circle is the master's degree. It defines the boundary of the subject. If you do master's degree, you get to the boundary of the subject. You know everything what is known in that field. You are the master of the subject. Wait a second. If that is a master's degree, then what is a PhD? Well, PhD is about knowing which is unknown. It is about finding that has not been found yet. It is about revealing which is still hidden. It's about extending the field beyond that boundary. It's about making the dent in the field, and that is your PhD. And you can very well imagine how hard it could be. It takes energy, it takes determination, it takes patience, and of course the time. That's why the very first thing you should keep in mind before starting a PhD is the time. Do you have time in hand? As per the National Science Foundation, the average PhD completion time in US universities in science and engineering field is 6.2 years. And the situation is even worse for arts and humanities, where the average time is 7.1 years. And the situation is same in rest of the world except for certain European countries. PhD simply takes 7, 8 or 9 years out of your life. Do you have the time? That brings me to the second point, which is passion for the subject. Do you feel thrilled, excited about the subject, about starting a PhD? Let me put it in this way. Do you really love the subject you are going to start PhD in? It is only the love and passion for the subject which will help you navigate through those 7, 8, 9 stressful PhD years, where you will have no time for anything else in your life but PhD. Which brings me to the third point, which is personal life. With you spending more and more time in labs, solving some complex problems and trying to do a breakthrough research, your personal life will suffer. It differs from person to person. If you are dating, you won't be able to date actively. If you have a wife or a partner, you won't be able to give sufficient time to your partner. If you have kids, you won't be able to spend enough time with them, play with them, cherish their company, which otherwise you would. That is something to think about. And that is one of the reasons many students who start their PhD as a bachelor don't get married until they finish the PhD. My fourth point is money. Do not start a PhD with the intention to earn more money. Higher degree does not necessarily mean more money, high paid job. In fact, some of the master's degrees can pay out just as good as any PhDs. And if you factor in all the time you will spend pursuing a PhD and not earning, which otherwise you would with the master's degree, I'm sure the master's degree will weigh much higher on the scale as compared to PhD. Money is important, but do not expect more money with the PhD. Not always the case. Since we are talking about the money, which is also related to my next point, which is funding or financial support in PhD. Do not start a PhD without a funding. Never. Never. As per 2015 data from US Bureau of Labor Statistics, the total student debt in US is $1.7 trillion, which is bigger than, by the way, the auto loan debt and total credit card debt in US. And majority of this education debt is coming from the PhDs. An average PhD student is under $105,000 US debt. By the way, that includes the debt he took in master's and undergraduate classes also, which is about 60K. But still, this is a substantial amount of money. And once again, arts and humanity PhD holders are the worst hit here as compared to science and engineering PhD students. Students takes years and years and years to pay back that kind of loan, that kind of debt. Moral of the story is no funding, no PhD. And no funding, watch my previous videos where I have talked about how to find financial support in PhD in US. Simple. And finally, don't do a PhD if you don't have a career path forward. Remember, PhD is not a career. You still have to find a job after a PhD. So if you are finding it hard to find a job after masters, you will find even harder to find a job after PhD. So don't just start a PhD because it looks like a least resistance career path. No, never. Okay, enough scary talks now. Let's talk about why you should do PhD in US. Oh, I just realized that I don't have enough time left. So let's save this topic for the next video. Thank you. Bye.